The Devil's Children by Sarah Langain. Maple's been missing north of a month. I want to pretend she's okay. I want to pretend she ran away and that one day I'll join her. The feeling inside me is queasy. She's not the only member of my kind to go missing. They leave the mountains to check on the water supply or to deliver an altar offering, and we never hear from them again. It's possible they got Captain Trips and stayed away rather than infecting the rest of us. Possible, too, the infection hit them so hard and fast they didn't have the time to radio news. There are also mountain lions to consider. These are heartless creatures, happy to chew even bones. It's autumn in California. The setting sun smears red rays across the San Gabriel Mountains. My tribe has occupied this place since our treaty with the Chosen, who've proven capricious overlords. On whims, they shrink our borders. They encroach, bring sickness. We're too vulnerable and spread out to fight them. They get away with it. Without Maple, I've been foraging alone. The others have said nothing. No, I'm not ready to replace my friend. But tonight, the thing I've been dreading happens. Ferris Landing approaches my camp. He's a tall, slender man. He looks behind me instead of at me. I'll gather with you tonight, he whispers. Everyone in my tribe whispers. Ferris isn't suited for my work. He's been known to pick poison oak instead of fennel, to scare small game with gangly feet. In truth, he's unsuited to any work. But it's not the way of my tribe to tell people what to do. He's offered help. It's my job to accept that help with grace and figure out whether he belongs. As soon as it's dark, I say. Night comes hard and fast, the last of dusk burning into black. Ferris meets me at the path that was once Mulholland Drive. It's beautifully eerie, a wild and ripe territory. We're not long before Ferris stops and calls, "Here," to me in a whisper that's louder than most. Everything about him is louder than it should be. But to my surprise, he's found lamb's quarters. They're full of iron, more than deer meat. They thicken the blood. Yeah, I say, you got it. We gather those, then the beets and potatoes I planted with Maple on the wide flat overlooking the dilapidated ivy-riddled houses down in the valley that was once Studio City. He's helpful, carrying everything, acting as a second, trying hard to intuit my next moves. We finish sooner than expected and have time before we need to head back. Ferris sits on a rock. He makes room for me, but I ignore this. It's impolite to stand close, to sit nearby. Even family members avoid direct touch. He lights something whose tip smolders red. It's been 2 generations since Captain Trips, but the old world graffiti is still carved into the granite. Laura loves John. Hollywood 4 News. Ferris exhales a striking cloud. He's a misfit, which in our group of ragtag survivors is saying something. He always laughs too late. Always watches but rarely speaks. Behind his back, we call him the preacher. You're kidding, I say. That's a cigarette? He shrugs, sheepish. I get the disturbing feeling that he's planned this. Left our territory and braved the open to loot it from an overgrown and ivy-covered 7-Eleven. Been carrying the pack around since, waiting to show someone he's a secret rebel. He holds the cigarette. His voice is jarringly loud. Want a drag? Has he forgotten that my mother died from a lump in her lung? That we live only a few hundred miles from the rubble of an A-bomb? I used to have a best friend named Maple, and he'll never take her place? You ass, I whisper. I stomp ahead toward camp. Soon he's trudging behind me, and I feel the thickness of his uncertainty as he mentally proposes and disposes of the words to mollify me. We walk in the quiet long enough that I realize I'm being hard on him. I miss Maple too much to want to have fun with anyone else. Back at camp, we're the last shift to eat. It's our way to always do things in the smallest possible groups. Even confined to our limited territory, we keep apart. There's news first. We've heard and related over the radio on a closed channel. We learned that our tribe in Montana needs antibiotics. Our tribe in Texas has found uranium, which they hope to keep a secret from their local Chosen, who surely want to loot that metal and resettle them, likely infecting them in the process. We talk about those of our group who have gone missing. Aside from the practical possibilities, a few of my kind think it's magic, some kind of rapturing. I doubt this. They seem excited about the possibility. The more likely cause for our missing is something I don't want to think about. Before retiring for the dawn, we draw straws to decide who will deliver our seasonal goodwill offerings to the chosen. It's a part of our treaty, token gifts that serve to humanize us, make us seem like people and not animals. No one likes to make this dangerous trek, though lately I've been itching to get out, to find Maple, but also just to leave, to see something new. There's a sameness to our life that has been gnawing on my sleep. For how long are we expected to subsist on a dead and shrinking plot of land? What is there to hope for when your future is a noose pulled tight? I draw a long straw. I should be happy. Something inside me is disappointed. Then Ferris draws his short straw. Because I'm now his partner, this is also my short straw. I expect him to convey some kind of apology, shrugged shoulders, or sheepishness, or even a whispered sorry. My first day with him and I'm already screwed. Instead, he looks at me, his brown eyes nearly as dark as his pupils, and smiles. For as long as I can remember, there have always been two sides. There's always been us, and there's always been them, the chosen, the future eaters, the generation swallowers, the monsters in plain sight. I don't remember Captain Trips. I was told by my mother, who'd been told by her mother. Came like thunder, a calamity, a terror, a human-made plague of biblical proportions. The only way to escape it was to escape humanity. So that's what my people did. They hid from the world, from the sickness, riding out that terror and solitude. We came unfixed from everything we'd once been, everyone we'd once known, every hope we'd once had. We gave these up and waited meekly, our sole intention to survive, to outlast the virus and all who carried it. Like birds after a storm, we'd rise up in the quiet to inherit and remake the still spinning earth. But then, an unexpected thing. We were not alone. Climbing out from the dead echo of wet coughs and stink arose the immune. People who carried the virus, who kept it alive inside them without ever getting sick. Like newborns scraped clean of offense and tenderly raw, they walked out of houses and tunnels and prisons. They wandered empty streets, calling names of fallen friends. They mowed lawns half naked and weeping. They jogged empty streets, reciting the names of the dead. They painted nostalgic landscapes against easels. They drank. They told terrible stories and wept and laughed and healed even as their own blight was still happening. And finally, they gathered. In ways we could not possibly do, they gathered. My peripatetic, wondering people watched them, eyes in tall grass behind buildings, eyes looking down from roofs and peering up from cellars. The immune measured their survival in days, blessed the luck on stars like new gods even as they carried the sickness. It lived inside them, a time bomb, a nuke, a scrap of nucleic acid gone mutated and rogue. They could kill us with a word. Plosive letter P, a whistle, a whisper. Months, a year. The immune turned the lights back on. They danced to dead music. They joked about old movies and convenience stores. They cleaned all the mess and made new mushroom cloud messes. We stayed wondering. In order to survive, we learned to sleep by day and live by night, to stay quiet, to whisper, to avoid touch. Over time, we began to think of ourselves as less than human. We watched the living, the immune, pull weeds and tinker and fix. They slept in beds. There were cadaver bands of gold around their ring fingers. Captain Trips had stopped human progress. Slowly and with great pain, the chosen started it up again. They rebuilt. They powered tiny screens and big screens and medium screens and oh, so many screens. They dammed the water. They bred the livestock. They opened the glutton restaurants and offices for angry, passionate men. They had children, and even more children. They made it their job to repopulate the earth. Some of these children are born without immunity, but most survived. They had their suspicions to feel our eyes on their backs. Accidentally, they were killing our kind, leaving virus on supplies, changing our water, our air. Out of self-preservation, we made ourselves known. They answered swiftly, as if we were the threat. They fenced us in. We agreed to live within these encampments. In return, they promised that if wild and lawless immune marauders broke into our assigned land, they'd send their army to defend us. More importantly, because so far invaders had not come, they'd simply stay away. We'd live. We'd be in a cage, but we'd live. In word, they keep this truce. Indeed, they ignored it. Every few years, a well-meaning student of science or a self-made anthropologist infringes. One of our own gets sick and passes that sickness like a line of fallen dominoes. We're too tempting, too great a fascination. Their arrogance is our annihilation. We hope for better times, for a day when the curse against us is lifted and we walk again by day. Another dusk. This one's cloudy and without color. I'm ready with my pack and the goodwill offerings for the month. Ferris meets me at the top of Mulholland. We're not a ceremonial tribe. No one sees us, though I do see a blue ribbon tied around a tree. Its presence new. An anonymous good journey. It'll take us 2 nights to reach the altar. You came, he says with surprise. You're my partner, I answer. Ferris nods with uncertainty. He's not able to meet my eyes. How does a person so sensitive survive this world? He's a throwback from a different time. It occurs to me that it's not his incompetence that provokes the rest of us, but his tenderness. I release you, he says. I know I don't have to come, I say, but this is a lie. It's not my nature to leave people, especially fragile people. Look what happened to Maple. She wasn't even fragile. She was tough. She sneaked out on a supply run without telling any of us. Just a note on her sleeping sack. I have that note. I keep it in my sleep sack now. As if reading my mind, Ferris says, I'll be fine. Stop talking, I say. I walk. He follows. There are no more words for at least 2 miles. The chosen can feed themselves better than we ever could. As a result, our offerings have changed over the years. We knit baskets from palm fronds. We make pottery. These are relatively light and easy to carry. We leave them on altars at the walls of their town in Malibu. Sometimes they leave notes for us or contact us over the radio. They ask for more color in their bowls, which sell for high prices in their towns. They offer the penicillin from their laboratory. We can no longer accept their gifts. We can't trust them to be careful enough to wipe away the infection. 2 cars pass us on our first night. We hide both times. I realize the difference between us. My eyes have gotten keen at discerning movement in the dark. Distinctions between wind and a burrowing bird, a coyote and a deer. It's not just the sounds, but the absence of those sounds, the vibrations you anticipate, different stillnesses that indicate prey or predator. Ferris doesn't notice these things. You have bad eyes, I say. That's why you trip. That's why you're so loud. Do I? He asks, as if he's never considered it. Do you see that? What does it say? I ask, pointing at a distant green road sign whose white prismatic beads glow. You can read that? He asks. It says Betty Deering Trail. Anybody could read that. The letters are huge. Huh, he says. But you can read. He laughs softly. Yeah, I can't do much, but I can read. You should pick a different job than hunting and gathering. You should do wash or camp repair. You're smart, so you could do info relay or radio. Those would work. He nods but doesn't say more. He's got a hard jawline. His brow is thick and his eyes deep set. Your foot's bothering you, he says. What? Your foot. Your favor in your left leg. Oh, yeah. My shoes are failing. We should stop. I slow down. Hadn't occurred to me that he was capable of noticing and adhering to such a practicality. But he's right. I've got a blister brewing and it'll only get worse. It's been 8 miles. Now is as good a time as any to stop for a meal. We both pack the same thing, jerky and oranges. We chew quietly. He doesn't try to sit next to me this time. Though it's dark, the clouds have lifted. The sky's open and cavernous. Compared to this, our hillside feels closed and trapped. Our assigned territory would be barren if not for the underground river flowing beneath the mountains. It's got no resources and it's too steep to settle. No copper or old stores worth looting. The chosen don't want it, which is why we have it. Because there's been so much sickness, our birth rate is almost 0. It's not just that we don't want to bring a new cursed generation into the world. It's that we've lost the occasion for physical contact. We don't know how to do it properly, how not to be frightened of saliva and semen and blood. In my 25 years, I've made this goodwill run to Malibu a dozen times. Every time when I get to the closed gates, I wish for a mad second that they'll open. I'd walk inside, be one of the chosen. It's kind of self-hate, but I can't stop it. I don't want to be what I am. As I cut a hole into my moleskin, I feel his eyes on me, watching and curious. I find myself talking just to break the uncomfortable spell. Who is your partner before me? Ferris waits until he's done chewing to talk. He's got old world manners. Rotates. I've never had a consistent one. Why? You'll have to ask them, he says. It's an answer I respect. He doesn't badmouth anybody. Now that I think about it, he's had bad luck. I remember that his last partner was Maddie, who hates everybody. His partner before that was Grim. Grim was genuinely crazy. Shot himself in the head. I should have stopped sooner or borrowed better shoes. The blister's red and swollen, and the moleskin won't prevent infection. I feel something before I see it in my peripheral vision. It's Ferris, holding out a tube of antibiotic ointment. For your foot. I take it and our fingers touch, charged. Can't remember the last time I touched anyone. Not Maple. The last person I touched was my mom. You've been leaving territory? He nods. I'm careful. You won't get sick. He watches with preacher's eyes as I apply the stuff, rubbing it into the swell. We make another 8 miles before the dawn, then spend the day under trees on the side of the road, each taking watch. Closer to the ocean, the brush is thicker, the trees bigger. The way we sleep isn't so different from back home. There are small houses cut into the ground that we could occupy. Our people have been nomadic for so long that none of us wants a ceiling instead of a sky. What's more, houses confine the air, making it stagnant. Infection spreads in stagnant air. By night, my foot is worse. I limp and try to hide it. Ferris says nothing, though his gait slows. Without words, he offers to carry my pack by tugging on it. I refuse, but tell him thanks. The ocean comes up on us like a surprise. Malibu. We see the lights. Smell remnants of snuffed fires that recently cooked rabbits and deer. Dotting the valley below are lonely yellow glints in lonely bedrooms. The insomniac. They live in houses here. They have a radio station and gas stations and cars. The chosen have everything. Ahead a few hundred feet before the gate, the altar. Though this entrance is only for us, it's supposed to stay clear of immune, it's still important to be careful. We won't touch anything. We're quiet, so the curious don't hear us and investigate. We leave our offerings, each of us lighting our packs. I'm used to doing this with Maple, so I kneel down as if to pray like she used to. O Lord, forgive us. O Lord, choose us so we can be free, she used to say. Ferris stays standing, and I find I don't want to say Maple's words. They don't belong to me. It's not God who exiled us, he says. It's just bad luck. We don't deserve this. He's the only person I've ever heard express this. We're all so tired, the rest of us. It's not a thought worth having. What does it matter whether we deserve this? It's happening, and there's nothing we can do. If they're God's people, then God is a monster. They have everything. We have nothing, he says. They say they're working on a cure for us, I answer. I'm not sure I believe this. If they wanted to help us, they'd have given us a city, a hospital. They've cleared it out for us. They don't want to help. They don't care. He's angry. I wouldn't have guessed awkward Ferris Landing had it in him to be angry. Don't talk like that. You cut yourself against it. There's nothing we can do. He lowers his head, and I have the feeling people have said to him before, stop talking, stop thinking. I can't handle what you're saying. I don't like that I'm now one of those people. I stand up again. The sky's dim and thick. Beads of rain fall light at first, then heavy. Wet, we walk back. I can't hide my limp anymore. The pain is a line of heat that stretches all the way to my knees. He puts his arm around me, and I lean my weight. It's strange at first, unpleasant. I think of sickness and coughing and blood, but I need the help, so after a while I don't mind it. Why did Maddie leave you? I asked. Because I talked like this, he answered. Odd little creature. A few miles later, dawn breaks. We're lucky. We're close to the halfway house, place restricted from the chosen, shelter from the rain. Ferris is loud here, too. He grunts when he changes, and grunts when he bends, even though he's a young man. The two beds are across the room from each other. I want to suggest one of us take watch. There's something thick between us that I'm afraid to broach. I find my eyes open, looking at him looking back at me. While we're sleeping, the worst thing happens. The door opens. The chosen break treaty and enter. I'm so scared it's like alarms are screaming inside me. This is everything I've ever feared. I can't run. They're blocking the door. I can't breathe. I'll die. Really, that's the only option. I'll die. So will Ferris. They come closer and they're so clean. Even their fingernails are clean. I can't hold it anymore. I breathe. They smell like chemicals. The whole room is filled with the scent of two sweet flowers. I'm too focused on what's right in front of me to notice Ferris, though distantly I hear struggle, wet skin, fighting sounds. They're hurting him. Easy, the one closest to me says, like I'm a wild animal. Easy does it. I lunge, but there are hands holding me down. There's a needle. Everything goes black. I wake up in a long, clean room with hard, shining floors and 2 rows of beds, headboards against the walls. Only 2 of the beds are occupied. Over us stand the clean chosen, all wearing white coats. I'm awake. Ferris's eyes are closed. I'm waiting for the tickle in my throat, the swell in my ears. Captain trips. A man with white hair comes closer. Like a baby, he has no hair on his face. His breath is chemical and cinnamon. Do you speak? He says. Do you understand me? I glare, holding my breath. You're exposed. Go ahead and breathe, dear. I lunge for him, realizing only then that my feet are bound. He shows no alarm, barely flinches. His voice is loud, louder even than Ferris's. But he's not talking to me. People around him are students, apparently, or some kind of audience. We injected her with both live virus and vaccine, but she showed no sign of infection. Very promising. They mutter an excited thrum. This is the first time we've seen any immunity at all, one asks. The old man shakes his head. I don't think I've ever seen anyone as old as him. Our people die much sooner. Nonetheless, he appears healthy. His joints are full of cartilage, his skin lively. We've come close before, but as I said, promising. And he walks to the next bed. This one has a 104-degree fever. It's not as progressed as we'd expect from an active infection, but it's still a fever. I need hematology to run panels for everything relevant, looking particularly at the TRIPS protein and antibody interaction. Then they turn. I've given up lunging and am openly untying my binds, which are simple and well-knotted bed sheets attached to the metal frame. The old guy pays no attention. A few of the interns watch with curiosity as the group of them heads out. A door closes with a click, and they're gone. They're not worried I'll escape, which I find alarming. Are people in my position usually too sick by now to run or fight? I get the knots off and I'm free, about to follow them to the door and show them the sort of damage my kind can commit, when something thin and sweet trickles through the air. It falls, heavier than atmosphere and just slightly orange. It's coming from the narrow, slatted metal boxes in the ceiling. I try not to breathe it, because it spins me, makes me heavy. I fight, but my head sinks back. As I doze, I see a list of names carved into the steel footboard of the bed opposing me. We were here. Len, Isis, Fran, Sue, Matthias, Lip, Drift. My eyes unfocus and I force them back. I force myself right back before it all goes black again. I see a final name. Maple. For the first time in memory, I sleep during the night and wake at dawn. My bed sheets are knotted again, my ankles bound and tied to the bedpost. It's humanely done, not very tight. The people in white have returned. They're taking Ferris's blood. He's awake and coughing, his hair slicked with sweat. I try to act like I'm not scared for him. This isn't serious. I have you, I want to tell him. We're on the same team, and that makes you mine. But it's too personal a thing to say with words. His eyes find purchase in me, and his breathing relaxes. His wheezing becomes less pronounced. They injected us with Captain Trips and an experimental vaccine, I say. I'm not sick yet. It's a chance you'll get better. So, you do understand me, says the old man. We weren't sure which tribe you came from. Some of them are mutes. You're in violation of the treaty, I say. He looks at the side of my bed as if considering sitting there, but thinks better of it. Do you know that the children of the immune are not always immune? We need this too. It's for all of us. He keeps talking. No more words about society and survival, about everyone doing their part, about rebuilding and getting back what we've lost. They're meaningless. I'm thinking instead about how Ferris called them monsters. I'm thinking he was right. Then they're gone. It only occurs to me later that the old man's voice was more nasal than yesterday. Breakfast is delivered by more people in white. One of them sneezes. Twice. Once they're gone, I work on my binds getting loose. I'm up then. The hall is just that. 2 rows of bed that end on one side in a wall and the other in a locked windowed door. Outside that door, people in white have congregated. I hear words like cure and breakthrough and economic viability. It's bright out there, a white sun, and they're too loud. I can't imagine enduring a world so loud. Back at the beds, Ferris shakes with fever. The whites of his eyes have turned red with blood. My instinct is to hide from him, to cocoon myself with sheets on the far side of the room. I'm so scared of infection. There's another instinct, too. I like Ferris. I don't want him to be alone. Stay away from me, he coughs. Yeah, I say. Then I do something I've never done before, not with anyone, ever. I climb into his bed. Our bare legs touch. I spend the day nursing Ferris and plotting an escape. My plan is to break out once they're not paying attention. Carrying Ferris out will be the tough part. It would make more sense to leave him behind. My chance to escape hasn't yet occurred, so I haven't had to make that decision. Once I leave, I won't be able to go home. Even if I don't die, I'm probably a carrier. Hunger outweighs any fears I have as the food is infected with some new terror. It's toast and jam and butter, eggs and fresh meat and bright orange juice. I can understand why they mistake themselves for gods. They eat like them. Ferris manages a few sips of juice, but not much else. Midday, the door opens again. People in white enter. Several are coughing. They draw Ferris's blood. We sit together in the night and at some point fall asleep. I'm awoken with a feeling of something cold and wet. Oh no, Ferris cries. Blood, I think. He's bleeding out. It's the final stage. My eyes adjust. He's slick all over, dripping sweat. The heat coming off him is gone. His fever is broken. It's so gross. I'm so sorry, he whispers. It's not like I thought. I'm not repulsed. I'm just happy he's alive. Happy I won't have to escape without him. You're crying. Oh no, please don't cry, he says. It takes a second. I don't understand what he's talking about before I realize that I really am crying. But it's not sadness. It's relief. Next morning, the old doctor comes with his friends in white. They're all sick now. All the assistants are sick too. The old man can hardly stand. The veins in his sclera have popped and broken, red blood swelling under a layer of tight skin. The assistants hold us down and take our blood. They're so out of it they don't notice that Ferris is better. They lock the door behind them, but they forgot to bind us or put sleep gas through the vents. We walk to the end of the hall, watching them through the glass window. The old man falls to the ground. He shakes with seizure, mouth foaming, then goes still. I've seen this before in my own people, and know already, even as the staff surrounding him perform CPR and check his pulse, that he's dead. Looks like they invented a new variant, Ferris says. And it kills them, but not us, I ask. We stand at the glass looking out. The attendants in white notice us then. Their expressions confuse me. Slowly, I realize they're afraid. We stay in the room for the following 24 hours while Ferris rebuilds his strength. No one comes back to check on us after the doctor's death. We watch out the window as the hospital fills ominously with coughing people, sick people. We hear the cacophony. And then just as quickly as the coughing started, it goes quiet. It happens with a snap, with a strike of thunder. Everything is still. We break the window, reach out, and unlock the door from the outside. There are bodies on the floor, bleeding out from eyes and mouths and ears, staining white uniforms and floors red. I've seen this before. I've seen lots of bad things. It doesn't make any of it easy. I'm holding Ferris's hand, or maybe he's holding mine. How do these things start? I don't know. We're out a main door and down the steps. It's daylight. We're exposed for all the town to see. But the people are gone. The cars are still. The town, once teeming, is silent. Are they all dead? I ask. Ferris looks up toward the roof of a large mansion. Something moves. A human blur charges around a corner, but doesn't go far. I feel its watching eyes. The vantage has shifted. We have become the immune. We gather food, but otherwise don't spend long. Ferris wants to investigate, to wander their stores, to eat fresh fruit and meet their animals, their cats and livestock, to read their books. But it's dangerous to linger. They might have guns. We leave through the gates we must have been carried through, past the altar, now empty. They took our offering just like they took us. The rest of the death hospital has healed my blister. Sometimes Ferris leans on me, sometimes I lean on him. We walk until we're at the halfway house. We rest there. Why did you volunteer to help me forage? I ask. I like you. Except by necessity, I've avoided paying attention to other people. It opens too many doors. Like Maple or my mom. They might die. I don't want to have to mourn them. If I'm loyal to them, I might have to sacrifice more than I can afford. But it occurs to me that he's been paying attention. The preacher. Why? I ask. You get things done, he says. Other people, they just pretend, or they do as little as they can. Our whole group is falling apart. You don't seem to notice. From the outside, it looks like you do that because you have hope. I can't evaluate this thing. I don't have the perspective to know whether it's hope or animal instinct that keeps me going. But I like that he thinks so highly of me. They killed our missing, I say. Yeah, he says, they did. They stole them like lab rats and then murdered them. They killed Maple. They killed my friend. There are tears in his eyes. I knew he wasn't attached to Maple. I know he's feeling this for me. And somehow, it opens and breaks something inside me. I'm crying. I'm crying so loud. It's like screaming. He's there, a witness. He doesn't tell me to be quiet or to stop. So I keep going. I cry for Maple and the missing. I cry for my people. I cry for my mom. I cry for misunderstood Ferris. I cry for myself. What happens next isn't an accident. Taking off our clothing and coming together, we choose it. I've never done it before, neither has he. It's a surprise how much I enjoy it. I feel different afterward. I feel there was something wrong, something undone and sorrowful that is gone. It's his nearness that drives it away. The halfway house has a radio. That morning, we let our people know what happened. They decided to take a risk. Send an enemy or two to meet us. The envoy hesitates as it passes through the threshold of the halfway house. We all do. It's terrifying and momentous and oh so quiet as they walk inside and breathe our air. When Ferris and I decide where to sleep with our newcomers, we have the option of pretending there's nothing between us. Those kind of relations are frowned upon and impractical. I find myself afraid of losing him and tether myself closer. Quickly our friends get sick. But like Ferris, 2 days later, they're healed, immune. Leaning on one another, learning love without ever saying a word, Ferris and I make a kind of pilgrimage together. We spread our immunity to Montana and Texas. We spread it wherever it's needed. 9 months later, my child is born. The child is immune. We consider packing our things and moving to another of the non-occupied territories, taking over, murdering with a word, undoing everything the chosen have built. We choose instead to remain the quiet ones. Our numbers grow, surge even. We respect the new treaty, have stolen no lands. The difference is not on the outside, but within. We gather now. We know the feel of skin. We laugh. Our voice is no longer caged. You chosen ones, now relegated to small territories, you petty gods who turned the light no one wanted back on. You daywalkers, banished now. Tonight, hear a story. Once you steered a ship. You broke the ship, unknowingly jettisoned us from it. You returned to the ship learning nothing, changing nothing, seeing nothing new. You did not understand that we were the new. God's rejects were the change. We will remake the world into a thing you do not recognize. We will remake the world into a thing that works.